Hey, what's poppin', everybody? I am back. Yesterday, you guys gotta make sure you follow me on Instagram because these things stay up to date on Instagram. I said at the beginning of the month I was gonna take a couple days out of each month, once or twice every 2 weeks, a couple times a month. I did just take the day to spend time with my fiance and my son. Gotta keep them involved in my life as well. Can't always be grinding on the YouTube grind. So took time off yesterday to spend some time with them. My fiance watches our son 95% of the time while I'm working and I'm doing YouTube. So sometimes I take it for the day and give her the day off so she can enjoy her own life. So that's what happened yesterday. Look for those to happen on days when there's not that much happening. Like yesterday, there was only 3 games and they were all at 9 o'clock. So yesterday was a perfect day to take a day off. So let's go ahead and get into a recap of not yesterday, but Wednesday the 16th, or excuse me, Thursday the 17th, and then, Wednesday the 16th, and then Thursday the 17th, because I did also throw up a slip on Instagram yesterday. Okay, so the lock of the day yesterday, or on the 16th, was Jason Tatum over 30.5 points. The true story of that one was really 17, there were 17 made threes, not from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The bench, I think Tatum nearly got outscored by Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams, and there's one other dude, Sam Hauser. Almost got outscored by 3 role players in his lineup, in the Celtics lineup. Sometimes the Celtics do that where they just make an unprecedented amount of threes. Sometimes the Celtics act like they're the best three-point shooting team in history. They made 21 threes that night and actually blew the brakes off of the Hawks. There's nothing they could do because they were just making crazy threes. When Tatum started the game off, I think he started out the game like 3 for 13. I knew it was over. They started to blow him out. And Tatum also did everything but score. I think he nearly notched a triple-double in his game. But yeah, just comes up short, does Jason Tatum. So bummer there. Of course, the only miss from that day would be the lock of the day. Because DeMar DeRozan would get it done. Once again, I think he had 29 a couple days ago, so I can't remember. But I think it was 29 in that game versus the Pelicans. Pelicans almost blew that one up. They almost started to run away with that one, but DeMar got his late. And then Shea had a 19-point third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Big game from Shea. Had a step-back game winner that night, too. He had 42, and his line was at 28.5. So big night there from Shea. Should have just made Shea the log of the day. It is what it is, though. So that was our 2-1 recap from the 16th. Now, if we go to yesterday, I did post a slip on Instagram yesterday of Damian Lillard over 33.5 points and assists. That was the lock of the day. Then Devin Vassell over 20.5 points and Marvin Bagley over 13.5 points. Lock of the day, Damian Lillard. I think that's the first time I've played somebody this year where he just didn't blow it up or didn't go way low. He just kind of slowly did his thing the whole game. He just, was kind of slowly going up quarter by quarter by quarter until it hit. Was no sweat at all, really. Just kind of, he progressively went up and up. So give me Damian Lillard. That was the lock of the day yesterday over 33.5 points and assists. Then we went with Devin Vassell over 20.5 points. Got a little nervous there with Vassell, but a big late push from Vassell. He ended up crushing his line there, going well over 20.5 points. And then Marvin Bagley got in foul trouble. In his first game back a couple days ago, he played great. He took 11 shots at about 16 points. Then yesterday got in a whole lot of foul trouble. So that really slowed his roll. I think he only attempted like 5 shots. So just couldn't get into rhythm because he got into a lot of foul trouble. Had he been able to play any normal minutes and didn't get into foul trouble, Jalen Duran came in and had 9 and 8 or something like that. So Bagley could have had that production, just got into foul trouble. So that is a recap from yesterday. A nice little couple of days here, 4 and 2 little stretch. Having a pretty good, getting back on track compared to what we were doing the last couple of days. So got 3 plays for today, maybe even possibly an extra play by the end of the day. But let's go ahead and get into it for today's picks. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, in the link down in the description below, I have a link that takes you straight to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy because you're going to want to hop in on the action this year. They have added a whole bunch of new features to Underdog Fantasy this year, starting with the brand new insurance feature, okay? This insurance feature is a new thing that has been super requested for the fans and the customers of Underdog Fantasy. Essentially, all you do is you click insurance right here. And if you can see right there, all you have to do is hit 4 of these picks to win, but the value does drop down. So if you turn off the insurance, you do a $10 bet, you obviously get $200. And if you turn on the insurance feature, it drops down a multiplier down to 10. But if you miss one of these picks, say, Jameis Winston gets hurt or something, he doesn't end up throwing 2 touchdown passes. But everybody else hits like Lamar, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. All these guys hit. You still hit the hit, or you still hit the slip. You just get it for $100. Just goes down a multiplier, which is a huge feature a lot of people have been asking for, so they received it. Also, they have added second half lines now to games. Obviously, it is on. There is nothing up because there's no NFL second half games, but they have added NFL second half. So just like for the Thursday night game, I'll throw up that clip right here. Thursday night, they dropped all the second half lines for that Thursday night game between the Bills and the Rams. They've added a bunch of new features this year. They're trying to improve to get the app better for you guys. Also, when you sign up, if you use code TAKEMYSHOT, you'll get $100 match, up to $100 match and 100% deposit match on your first time deposit. So if you do that, you can deposit $50 to get an extra $50, $20 to get an extra $20. Whole lot of stuff coming with Underdog Fantasy this year. Make sure you sign up with code TAKEMYSHOT. Now let's get to today's bets. Okay, second play of the day here. We're going to head over to the Indiana-Houston game. That's at 7:10. This might actually end up being a lock of the day today. Okay, scratch that. Today's lock of the day is going to be Tyrese Halliburton. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit here. I should just go back and record it, but I'm not going to. Lock of the day, switch it up from the first one. Steven Adams will not be the lock of the day. He'll be the second play of the day. Today will be, the lock of the day will be Tyrese Halliburton. I'll even put the graphic up for Tyrese Halliburton today. So the lock of the day, Tyrese Halliburton, over 11.0 assists right now. That's what we're going to rock with. At the moment, there is no points and assist line. I'm going to do a points and assist line. I've already asked Underdog if they can post a points and assist line. It'll be up by the end of the day. If I had to guess based off the projections of what they've got him at now at 19.5 and 11 on the assist, it'll probably sit at about 31, 32 as far as his points and assists go. Today's going to be taking on the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets give up the most assists in the NBA to point guards. They give up well over 10. They give up 11.03 assists a game to point guards. That's number one in the NBA by almost 2 whole assists. We have been taking advantage of that the last couple of games. I think CJ McCollum took on the Pelicans, took on the Rockets, and we took advantage of that. So Halliburton is now the sole leader in the NBA by almost a whole assist, I believe. As the league's leader in assists, he averages like 10.4 a game. Obviously, an elite playmaker. He's been the wagon all season. So versus this Houston Rockets defense that does give up a lot of assists to point guards, we're going to go ahead and rock with Tyrese Halliburton. Not a whole lot we need to say, obviously, with Tyrese Halliburton. We all know he's turned to an elite playmaker, an elite passer, puts up massive assist numbers, gets his 20 a game. So he's going to be taking on a defense that gives up a lot of assists. This game also sits at a very close spread. Let me double check so I got an up-to-date version with you guys. A 5.5 point spread at a 236 total. So the highest total of the game, highest total game of the day between the Rockets and the Indiana Pacers. So it should be a close one, high scoring between two very young teams. So give me Tyrese Halliburton over 11.0 assists. Right now, it's 11.0 assists, but by the end of the day, it'll probably switch over to points and assists. I'd rather just take both as today's lock of the day. Tyrese Halliburton will be not Steven Adams. All right, boys. Was loving a couple of picks today. Absolutely loving them. Couldn't decide who I wanted to make the lock of the day today, but I'm going to go ahead and go with, we're going to go with Aquaman today. We're going to go with the big man. Give me Steven Adams today over 9.5 rebounds versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. This season, Steven Adams has played 14 games. He has gone over this 9.5 total, so touching double-digit rebounds. 9 out of 14 games. Now, in the games that he missed, there is a gigantic trend, a massive trend. Versus the Pelicans, he missed. He got into foul trouble. Versus Minnesota, he got into foul trouble. Versus Utah, he missed. Only played 19 minutes, got into foul trouble. Versus Dallas, he just straight up missed. He just had a really bad game. Worst game of the year. And then Houston, foul trouble. 4 of the 5 misses he had this season came courtesy of foul trouble. Also came courtesy of limited minutes, obviously, because of those foul trouble problems. That's going to be the big thing for Steven Adams here tonight. If he does not get into foul trouble and he plays over 20 minutes, he's going to crush this line. Only 3 misses this season that he's had have come when he plays under 20 minutes. So that foul trouble and playing more than 20 minutes is kind of a big thing for Steven Adams. If he doesn't get those boards early, he's probably not going to hit it. But I have a lot of faith in him. I have a lot of trust in him. In his 3 matchups versus the Thunder last year, 16 boards, 14 boards, and 8 boards. Didn't get in any foul trouble in those 3 matchups a year ago. I think he only had just like one foul or a couple here and there. Didn't really get into a whole lot of foul trouble versus them a year ago. And only had 1, 2, 3, 4. Only had 4 total fouls last year in 3 matchups. All 3 games he played well over 20 minutes. For him to just come 2 rebounds short on one game, we'll take that. 2 out of 3 is better than none out of 3, you know what I'm saying? So that's how Steven Adams is kind of faring this season. That's how he played last year versus the Thunder. Obviously, there's not a whole lot we need to get into versus, the Thunder themselves. We all know the Thunder give up a lot of boards, don't really have any size inside to stop that. They give up 12.8 boards per game to starting centers. Massive rebounding nights have come courtesy of the Thunder. They've played guys like Nikola Jokic, who's averaging 14.5 boards versus them. Rudy Gobert is averaging 15.5. In 2 games, Ivica Zubac is averaging 16 boards. Bol grabbed 12. Wendell Carter grabbed 12. Isaiah Carter grabbed 12. Al Horford grabbed 11. So obviously, a lot of success has come versus this Thunder's team. So not a whole lot we need to talk about when it comes to the Thunder. We just got to make sure that Steven Adams does not get in foul trouble tonight and does not get under 20 minutes play time. He's got to get that PT. The interesting thing that I found from this game as well when I was looking at the books earlier, a 230 total, which is perfect. When you get into that 230 total, that means there's going to be a lot of shots taken, a lot of rebounds. This game only sticks at a 6.5 point spread in Minnesota or in Memphis, so they don't expect this game to be a blowout. Which when I was getting ready to look at the books, I was anticipating this to be like a double-digit spread. Only a 6.5 point spread, so if this game stays within 6.5 points, that's looking good for Steven Adams. So give me the lock of the day today to be Steven Adams over 9.5 rebounds. Okay, last 2 plays here. I'm kind of up in the air with them. And when I say 2 plays, I got 2 plays that I'm wanting to play for the last play of the day. So first up, we're going to go with Torrey Craig, over 14.5 points and rebounds. Now, with some injuries to the Phoenix Suns, Torrey Craig has slid into the starting lineup for these guys. In 3 games that he's been in the starting lineup, he's hit his line 2 out of 3 games. Okay, in the 1 game that he didn't hit, he missed it by 2. He had 13, he needed 15. He's playing over 30 minutes per game, getting a fair amount of shots. We only need him to take 4 to 8 shots a game. But he's been on the glass like a maniac. 10 boards in his last game, 9 boards a game before that. That's why I'm leaning a little bit more towards points and rebounds. The Utah Jazz kind of sit middle of the pack. They don't give up a lot of points to starting small forwards. They actually rank kind of towards the top at giving up the least amount of points to small forwards. But they rank kind of towards the middle as far as overall defense versus small forwards. So that one kind of has me a little bit up in the air as far as Torrey Craig. But that one, I do have my eye on Torrey Craig right now. And the other play that I'm kind of bouncing back and forth with to play with here is Julius Randle, over 33.5 points and rebounds. Yes, I said over, finally taking over for Randle. Randle in 2 matchups last year versus the Warriors, put up some pretty big numbers, did Julius Randle in those games last season. Let me pull him up here real quick. So he had 28, 16, and 7 for 51 PRA. And then he had 31, 7, and 3 for 41 PRA. So he had pretty big games last year. Also played over 37 minutes per game in those games. So had pretty big performances versus the Warriors a year ago. Obviously, the Warriors are struggling pretty bad right now. Those games did feature Draymond Green and Kevon Looney, so it's not like Draymond wasn't playing. That's why he had big games. He kind of had big games versus Draymond. Draymond played in both those games. So kind of leaning towards that. Obviously, the Warriors as well give up a lot defensively to power forwards as far as their ranks versus power forwards. We'll go ahead and pull it up real quick so I got up today's data. Ranks versus power forwards, they give up 25 points per game to power forwards, which is second in the NBA. Give up over 10 rebounds a game to power forwards, and they also give up the sixth most assists to power forwards in the NBA. So it should be a bigger night here for Julius Randle. He should have a breakout game tonight versus the Warriors. Has shown a lot of success versus the Warriors. Also, the Warriors have shown that they kind of struggle at stopping big men or power forwards, and both these games last year between the Warriors and the Knicks, they both stayed incredibly close. In one of the games, Draymond Green did not play in one of those games. So Draymond did not play in one of them, but that was the game when he had 28, 16, and 7. So that was the game when he had more rebounds in that one. But he did have 31 points versus Draymond Green in that second matchup. So the Warriors have shown they kind of struggle, obviously, against them, scoring the ball, passing the ball, rebounding the ball. He had great matchups or performances against them last year. The books currently have this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at that game too, because I could tell us a little bit of a story for that Randle play. It's loading. Sorry, give me just like okay, there we go. So for what the books are kind of looking at for that play. Sorry, this is kind of a prolonged clip here, but I kind of wanted to just discuss these last 2 plays that I was feeling. So they have it at a 234 total, so a pretty high total, but sitting at a 7.5 point spread. Warriors are at home. If this was in New York, I'd feel a little bit better about it, but still a little bit undecided on that last play, whether that'll be Torrey Craig or Julius Randle. But we'll get it figured out by the end of the day. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram because I'll throw it up by the end of the day. So those are the 2 plays that I'm kind of wanting to go back and forth with, but I'll get it decided by the end of the day. All right, so for now, our two for sure lock-in picks are going to be the lock of the day, Tyrese Halliburton over 11.0 assists. But again, if they don't post a points and assist line by the end of the day, which I have a feeling they will, we'll just rock with assists, but there will be a points and assists by the end of the day, assuming at about 31, 32 and a half. Then the other pick will be Steven Adams over 9.5 rebounds. And then we're going to wait. I just kind of want to wait on maybe a couple other lines. Maybe another line comes out that I like by the end of the day. But for now, Torrey Craig and Julius Randle were kind of the other two plays that I was liking, over 14.5 rebounds for Torrey Craig and Julius Randle over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. But for now, we'll just lock in those two picks of Halliburton and Steven Adams. And then you have to follow me on Twitter and Instagram to see what that third play ends up being by the end of the day. So yeah. All right, guys, that's going to lock up today's video, or finish up today's video with today's locks. Hopefully those locks can come through for us. Getting back on track the last couple of days here. Looking for a sweep. Really need this sweep. Haven't had one in just under, or maybe a little bit over a week now. We haven't had one since, I guess technically Sunday when we played when I played my Sunday slip. But since in the NBA, we haven't had one since last Wednesday. So it's time to get into check here. It's time to get a sweep down for the boys. With that being said, guys, I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.